Hey everyone, RemanX here, and we're going to go through some big reveals. The blog is in, and we're going to talk about Dark Dimension 5, the current requirements. They've unveiled a little bit of that for us to sink our teeth into, and then we're going to deconstruct the kit that was revealed for Dormammu. We're going to talk about why I think it's good for the game. One of the cool things that I think it makes it so that regardless of when you get it, it's going to impact your roster, and more importantly, what I feel like is going to be happening with characters coming out down the line. So let's start it off with basically the requirements for the Dark Dimension 5. So requirements here, all right, you can see missions 1-3, no restriction, any 5. So 5 members total. All right, so you're going to need a total of, all right, you require all Dark Dimension nodes require a full team of 5, so you'll eventually need 20 characters to complete it. Wait, is that a math problem? So 5, no restriction, right? So you can bring legendaries. Yeah, no, it's 20. Why people tell me there's math issues? I got a whole bunch of messages. No, there's no restriction for the first 5, for the first 3 nodes, just like it was in previous. So City, Global, Cosmic, Legendary. There's going to be lots of choices to choose from, and you're going to be able to choose your path, whether it's the most relevant characters or the ones that get you in fastest, and it depends on where you are in the game, which one makes the most sense. So, obviously, the first win rewards, we have the obvious Yags clause in there for obvious reasons. No more RemanX Shake It, so, you know, I won't have to give approval on the name being used in the game, but thank you to a good friend for doing that for me last time. I'm not actually the first person to complete Dark Dimension. A very good friend of mine was. And so let's talk about this really quickly. Dormammu is the grand prize, and one of the concerns I see from the community, and I hear all the time, is I'm not going to get him when he's going to be relevant to my roster. And so what I want you guys to understand is there is a very key component to this that makes him relevant to everyone forever. All right? And this is something that I think is understated, is the fact that at the start of the match, and this character is not a clone, all allies gain revive once. That means all characters get a free get out of death card. You come back with 40% of the character's max health. So at the very least, he's going to be powerful, and it's going to take a long time before the stats that we're seeing on these characters become outdated. And more importantly, this is his power at 4 red stars. They could easily take a look at him if he's being outclassed and put some additional stars in the Dark Dimension promo credit store and let you bring up this character in the long term. That being said, his stats are nuts, and he does things that are pretty intense, and they're percent based. Okay? All right, a lot of the support characteristics that he does is going to be relevant in everything that happens. Clear immunity from all enemies. I mean, right off the bat, that is something that is a basic. 360% damage and 30% drain. Everyone. And then if the character's ability block fill speed bar. And so people are panicking, oh my goodness, that's crazy, right? You can't ability block him. He's just going to get sped up. All right, apply stun and trauma, and we already learned from trauma that it doesn't clear the passive. So if you have trauma on a character like Dr. Doom and he gets stunned, he can't clear it because trauma prevents that passive from taking effect. That's a big deal. Okay, and then attack primary adjacent targets for 300% damage. Apply slow, which is one of the most important abilities in the game. Slow and speed up are still very important. And then heal block, okay? And the stun and trauma, like I said. And then he's gonna have these charged ability. We'll talk about how that works, okay? And then, so clear all negative effects, clear heal block from all allies, heal self and all allies for 40% of this character's max health. Yeah, all these things are over here. If you get to this, you're probably gonna lose the fight. But the fight's gonna be easier if you have Dormammu. So by all means, you're playing this game and you're like, well, I don't know how to get him. That's what we're here for, to help you put you on the path to understand the most efficient way to either buy or earn enough resources to get there. But realistically, characters that can apply trauma will help stop him. So if this is an arena character, which he's been designed to do by specifically nerfing America Chavez, you guys asked for it, Cosmic Brawlers, right? The idea comes down to this: Omega Red is going to be part of the arena meta. Hands down. Being able to put trauma on him and preventing him, okay? Preventing him from applying stealth, or preventing him from clearing stun himself. So he has in his kit the same things that are built to beat him. And so when I sat back and I thought of what was happening, was all the chips to beat him are in his own kit. So find characters that do that. Help have characters like, so I mean realistically, Kestrel, Black Bolt, Omega Red, Jubilee, Bishop. These are all characters that you can bring in whatever the legendary soup eventually becomes. But these are just ideas based on this. And so what comes down to it is you bring characters who can stun early on in a fight, being able to prevent him from, with trauma, being able to prevent him from removing it when you stun him, and then eliminate him and his allies through heavy amounts of damage, and more importantly, the ability to prevent them from resurrecting, and it's probably a win. So, one thing that happens in the entire history of Marvel Strike Force is they build us arena teams. And we have that iconic arena team that wins from the Brotherhood 2.0 and all the way up to Black Order was the one that was solidified for the longest, and we only had a very brief period of time where Legendary Soup can beat him because, frankly, not a lot of people invested in Doc Ock because symbiotes were better at the time. But Legendary Soup has always been the bridge between arena teams, being able to beat them, counter them, and oftentimes on defense, because Legendary Soup is, well, I have these characters, these work really well, I have to theory craft around another way to get around them on defense. Dormammu is going to be significant. People with Dormammu are going to wind up pushing up through the ranks, but they're already where they are. So there's no reason to panic. The people that are going to get Dormammu are already in the top of your arena. And I can promise you that even with Dormammu, we're going to theory craft ways to beat him when he hits the roster for the first time. I don't think it's going to be easy. I expect there to be a very low win rate, but I promise we'll give you a fighting chance if one can be had. There's a lot to unpack in this kit when we're talking about the on enemy turn flip positive effects. If you can prevent him from taking turns, none of this stuff happens. You have to go faster and hit harder than his team does. And that doesn't seem easy, right? The dad bros can make it back into the arena. But their health, despite their current position in the meta, may not be enough to keep them through there, especially if you have some heavy hitters on the opponent's squad. The new warriors seem like an easy fit in there. But one thing that is to be sure is they're already kind of maybe hinting at a solution coming out when the Multiverse of Madness unveils the next set of reworks or heroes that come to the game. We'll have to see. Anyway, Dormammu is an iconic character. I'm so glad they brought the actual bad boy of the Dark Dimension into the game. I think the animations are crazy. I think they got the kit spot on. He is going to be a worthy prize for those who get him. But I'm sorry in advance if you spend a lot of time and or money. I'm going to figure out how to beat him. And that's what we do here. So stay tuned.